You got to give the Miami Heat credit. I know we have talked a lot about the offseason, the future, with how tumultuous and down the season has been, but two of the largest bright spots are the rookies that you drafted last June in the 2024 NBA draft with Kel'el Ware in the first round and Pallel Larson in the second round. Because it looks, at least as of right now, that the Heat have found a pair of studs that will potentially and hopefully be with this roster for a long time. And what is sparking this is not only the play over the last week and a half or 2 weeks late in the season, March into April, but how well they played last night against Philly. And I know we weren't able to go live for that game, but they played really, really good at home in a 12-point win over the Sixers, where in this game played 35 minutes. No Bam Adebayo, had 19 points and 17 rebounds. He was dangerously close to a 2020 game. And then Pallel Larson getting an extended role once again, performing to the hopes and expectations that this Heat coaching staff has on him as he has continued to progress over the last couple of weeks. And just overall on the, I guess, course correction of this year and the trajectory of these two guys' careers specifically, I'm really bullish on these two. Now, the potential on these guys is not only good for Miami now in the future, but also could help them in the trade market as well. But either way, I wanted to talk about the two rookies that Miami has and what makes them so good, what they need to improve on as we do head to the final couple of games of the season. But make sure you are subscribed for the last week of the year. The Heat have 3 games left in the regular season. Crazy to say that. Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. I will be live for all 3 of those games. We will be live for the play-in next week as well. Hit that sub button. The goal is 21,000 before the year ends. We need 498 subscribers. Join the channel today. I want to talk about Kel'el Ware before Pallel Larson because to me, I've been extremely impressed with him over the past couple of weeks, but last night specifically, I thought he played one heck of a ball game without Bam Adebayo. Now, the 76ers are not a team that stresses you with their interior presence, especially with no Joel Embiid. They've been playing a lot of young guys like Gurvan Yabusele and Adem Bana. But to me, what he did last night was just impressive nonetheless. And over the last 15 games, he has got an expanded role on this group, playing 27.2 minutes per game, and he has come through averaging a double-double. But the part that it's impressed me the most is that his efficiency has taken a bump up. He's shooting 59.5% from the field. Now, that should be a mainstay for a 7-foot center because he is not asked to do a lot offensively, just offensive rebounds, putbacks, lob threat. So his field goal percentage should be very high. But if you remember throughout the season, when we looked at his full year stats, he was shooting closer to 50%. So the fact that we're now at 60 makes me very, very happy. The 3-point percentage has taken a dip, but he's also taken less, so he hasn't had a good chance to improve that. But when you're talking about Kel'el Ware's positives this year for the Miami Heat, number one is that he's long and alters a lot of shots. Pause. But he's got a 7-foot height and a 4.5 wingspan. That will allow him to contest a lot of shots. And even if he doesn't block a shot, the fact that he is coming over weak side to jump and contest it forces the offensive player to alter the way they shoot it, whether it's more high, a little bit softer off the glass, which can lead to more misses. So even if he's not getting blocks, he is changing this Heat defense inside. He is still an elite lob finisher. You've seen him been able to just rise to that top shelf, reach for the cookie jar, as they say, and put it down with authority. And when you get him running the baseline and you get Bam in a short roll, the two big men can connect on a lob opportunity. And I think something that he has done better over the past couple of weeks of as well is not fouling. Early in the year, maybe it was because he wasn't strong and he's been improving his strength, but he was not in the right positions and he was getting into foul trouble early and often. That has not been the case as of late, only averaging about 2.3 fouls per game over the last 15 games. So that's been an impressive thing for Kel'el Ware. And he's had a just great rookie season. I've talked about a lot about how he has exceeded my expectations in a major way. So I wanted to get a little temperature check from the Heat fans. Scale it for me. Rate Kel'el Ware's rookie season. Scale it on a scale of 1 to 10. No rookie scores. You can give me decimals. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I give it a 9.1. Now, 10 is obviously perfection, but because of the expectations that I had on Kel'el Ware coming into the year, I think he has just overshot that by quite a large margin. Like, I would have never guessed that year one he would have started alongside Bam. You could go back to the offseason after they made the pick. I thought he could have a good career in Miami, but I viewed him as a backup big this year with the hope that the 2026 season would have him as a starter next to Bam. So the fact that they've been willing to change that and start the two of them for basically half the year, and that Adebayo and Ware look competent doing so, has made me very, very excited about the future of Ware in Miami. But he is not a perfect player. He has some things he has to improve on. And what I want to see him get better from this season to next year on, it's very similar. To me, I think he lacks effort at times still. I don't know if it's conditioning. I doubt it's that. Maybe it's just the effort. But I feel like there are times in the game where he doesn't get back on defense. He doesn't go and attack the glass defensively or offensively like he could or should have. So to me, I'd like to see an uptick in effort from Ware. I think his shot and touch has fallen off. I think he has missed a lot of those 8 to 10 footers. He's only shooting 59.7% from the free throw line over the last 15 games. And obviously he started the first 3 weeks of his career shooting 42% from three. You saw the last 15 games, it's only been about 29.7 on about 1.5 attempts a game. So that has come off a little bit, but I'm not too worried about that because that's not what we're asking him to do completely. And obviously the biggest thing he has to improve on this offseason is strength, his frame. Like I'm telling you, if Kel'el Ware could add 15 pounds of muscle this offseason, and I know that might be a ridiculous ask, but we saw Nikola Jovic add 15 pounds of muscle over the past couple of seasons. If Ware is able to do that, he will not be pushed around and bullied inside as often as he is. His 7'4.5" wingspan will play much more difficult for opposing players when you can't nudge him and knock him off of his spot. It will also help him inside, grabbing offensive rebounds and his back-to-the-basket game, which I'm sure Miami wants to see him improve at and add another layer to his offensive game next year. I'm telling you, if Kel'el Ware could add 15 pounds of muscle this upcoming offseason, he has all-star center potential for the Miami Heat. And you just have to give credit to this man right here, Adam Simon. He doesn't get enough credit inside this organization. When you think about the Heat front office, you think Pat Riley, you think Eric Spoelstra as the head coach, and you think Andy Ellisberg as the assistant to Pat Riley and the money guy. But Adam Simon, who leads the scouting, is the most prominent voice in that front office when it comes to who the Heat are drafting, has just done an absolute spectacular job. Think about the last decade for the Miami Heat. Tyler Hero at pick 13. Bam Adebayo at pick 14. Like, 2 big hits. Nikola Jovic at 27. I know he's been an injury prone, but at 27, yeah, that's been a hit. Hawkins has been up and down, obviously, in the first 2 seasons, but that was a relatively fine pick at 18. And then this year with Kel'el Larson in the second round at 44 overall, and then Kel'el Ware at 15th overall. You just have to give credit to Adam Simon, and we'll explore the pick that he made at 44, Kel'el Larson, in just a bit. But we are sponsored by Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports platform, and I play them every single day. All you do is pick more or less on 2 or more player stat projections for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. And with the basketball season coming to a close, that just means the postseason is going to heat up. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. You can mix and match player projections from different sports, whether it's basketball, baseball, hockey, esports, and much more. Little golf action this weekend. You got the Masters coming up as well. They offer weekly promotions like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discount select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. I have an entry for the first round of the Masters this upcoming Thursday. I've got the less on Rory McIlroy and Scottie Scheffler strokes in round 1. Less is good here. You want to go less in golf. And I'm going to go with the more on Phil Mickelson, 73 strokes, a 3-player entry there. And that just shows you how you can play Prize Picks in a different way. You go daily, you can go season long, you can combine different sports. It's truly awesome. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. One more time, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, obviously we're going to show a lot of love to the first-round pick, Hillel Ware, because first-round picks just get a lot more notoriety and attention from fans. But you have to show the adequate love and attention to Pallel Larsen, who the Heat drafted in round 2 out of Arizona at pick number 44, because he has been getting a lot more opportunities over the past month or so as Andrew Wiggins has been consistently out of the lineup, which is a whole video we could probably do about his future with Miami in the next couple of days. But Larsen has been getting a lot of starts over the past couple of weeks, and he has been fantastic in those opportunities for the Miami Heat. It's actually so crazy. It's like it's two different players. And I get it. He's getting more opportunity. But as a starter this season, he has got 8 starts, playing 26.3 minutes per game in those 8 starts. The 40 other 7 games he's come into, he's been 12.2 minutes per game. Look at the stark contrast between him as a starter in terms of a bench player. Yeah, the efficiency is down in terms of scoring, but obviously he's playing more minutes, so it's going to happen. But he's been more productive on the glass, as a playmaker, as a scorer as a whole, and don't even get me started on his ability to defend, averaging 1.5 steals per game in this stretch as well. But if you look at his starts in the last 6 games, because he got a couple starts early in the year, and he wasn't as productive. You saw the numbers in the 8 starts he's gotten all year just a second ago. But specifically over the past month, when Andrew Wiggins has been out in the last 6 starts, it's been an unbelievable player. Averaging 10.5 points per game, shooting 44% from the field, 37% from beyond the arc. Like, the kid is playing great basketball, but the part that just makes me love him, and I know a lot of you guys at home loves Larsen as well, the fact that he doesn't care about statistics. Is he putting up numbers? Absolutely. But all Pallel Larsen cares about is ultimately having a higher score than your opponent at the end of the game. And Pallel Larsen makes winning plays, whether it's making the right rotation on the defensive end, creating havoc on the glass, making the timely cut in the half-court set, diving on the floor to grab a loose ball. Pallel Larsen has impressed me in so many different ways. He is a Heat culture type of guy, and I hate saying Heat culture, but when you look at it, at least in his rookie season, he has embodied it to a T. The guy is awesome. I love watching him play basketball on a nightly basis. And I want to get your thoughts. You saw the difference of Pallel Larsen as a starter and as a bench player. Is Pallel Larsen a future starter for the Miami Heat? Should he be in that first 5 consistently? If you think he should be, type S. If you think he should return to be 6th, 7th, 8th man, type B for bench. Like where I wanted to look at the positives in my mind for Pallel Larsen in his rookie season. It hasn't been the most expanded role the entire year, but this little stretch we've been in, he has been. And I thought the number one thing that he's shown is that he is a tough, physical defender. The Heat have trusted him to defend the top guard/wing on the opposing team. Against the Celtics in that road win a couple weeks ago, who did Pallel Larsen defend? Jason Tatum, for the most part. Put Tatum in prison, by the way. You saw Larsen get attached to Desmond Bane, to John Moran against the Grizzlies. Like, Eric Spoelstra is demanding him to guard the opposing team's best perimeter guy, and he's rising up to the task at an adequate level. He also just has a great high IQ. He plays basketball at a winning level. He values it, like I just mentioned. And another thing that I think is underrated is that he knows his role. This isn't a player that's going to be an all-star. He's not going to be a top 50 player in the NBA. But if he can just shine in his role, be an elite level role player, that could benefit the Heat more if he did that than if he tried to just be this ISO modern NBA guy that wants to put up stats and make a crap ton of money. No, he knows his role and he does it extremely well. Now, there are some things he obviously has to improve on. One thing that is consistent with him is that he gets in foul trouble, which you take that with the good and bad. Larsen is a physical high energy guy, and it might just get the best of him at times, which leads to him to get into foul trouble. His offensive game is limited to this point, at least as of right now. He's got a similar role to Haywood Highsmith, where he's making a lot of catch and shoot threes. He's making timely cuts, getting on the offensive glass and putting it back up and in. But as we've seen with Haywood Highsmith, he is a valued role player. But the one thing with Larsson, even though he's shooting 36.8% from three over the last 6 starts, his shot from beyond the arc is inconsistent. I think as he gets more used to the speed in the NBA and gets a full offseason in him with what he knows to expect in the association, his three-point shot will continue to improve in a developmental system that Miami has, which is very, very good. Overall, considering he is a second-round pick, and in the NBA, you can't really account for second-round picks making an immediate impact and being a legit role player for multiple years, I can't complain on Khalil Larsson whatsoever. Does he have to improve on things? Yes. But if you told me Larsson had the season that he had after being the 44th pick, I would be very happy. The fact that he just hasn't been in the G League for all year is impressive as well, because we saw how many times Nikola Jovic was in the G League, and he was a first-round pick in the first year of his NBA career. So I'm very excited about the future of Khalil Larsson. And I want to have a final thought, final summary on today's show, because I've been in the comments. I've seen that people aren't happy with me saying that I want the Heat to miss the playoffs, and I understand it. Every fan should root for their team to make the postseason. I usually have that line of thinking. But with the Miami Heat, knowing that they have been consistently in the postseason over the last 15, 20 years, I'm sick and tired of being stuck in the middle. I am. I don't want to be in the play-in in the 8th seed every single year. I'd rather either be a top 5, top 6 team in the East, or I'd rather try to swing big and get a massive upgrade in talent. Khalil Larsson and Kel'el Ware are arguably the reason why I want to miss the playoffs if I'm the Heat. Yeah, that experience could be very valuable going forward, but the Heat front office, Adam Simon, Pat Riley, they hit on draft picks consistently. Why would you not want to give them 2 shots at draft picks in a loaded NBA draft class? Right now, as we currently sit, it would be pick 11 and be pick 18 or 19 for the Heat. You give them those 2 opportunities, you could come away with 2 big-time players to add to this group. You talk about Ware improving, Larsson improving. 2 rookies, if they hit on just one of those picks in this loaded draft class, could be an all-star type of guy. You add that talent to Nikola Jovic, to Tyler Hero, to Bam Adebayo, you have an unbelievably good young core that can grow together and threaten in the Eastern Conference over the next 2 to 3 seasons. Or you can utilize those draft picks to make trades and add a complete veteran number 1 type of guy with Hero and Bam. I know it's something that is a long-term lens, and the short-sighted fan in me obviously wants them to make the postseason. But if you were thinking macro over the next 5 years and what's more likely to net a Heat championship, which is the ultimate goal here, to me it's still having 2 first-round picks in this draft, whether it's making the selections or making a trade. So to me, I still want the Heat to miss the playoffs, and I know a lot of people are going to hate me for it down in the comment section. But that's what I'm rooting for. We'll cover what actually happens over this next week or so with the play-in and the end of the regular season here on the channel. Hit that sub button. We'll be live for the final 3 regular season games as well as the play-in, so join the channel today.